Human civilization, we're told, began around 6,000 years ago with farming, writing, and the first cities. But what if that timeline is wrong? What if an entire chapter of our past, a chapter older, more advanced, and more mysterious, has been erased by time, catastrophe, or something we still don't fully understand? Around the world, ancient structures appear where they shouldn't. Artifacts show knowledge that shouldn't exist. And stories from cultures thousands of miles apart speak of a lost civilization, destroyed in a global cataclysm. This isn't myth. This is evidence, geological, archaeological, and cultural, suggesting that humanity may have risen once before and then vanished. This is the story of the civilization that may have existed 12,000 years ago, the civilization that may have been forgotten. In southeastern Turkey sits a place that rewrote history, Göbekli Tepe, a complex of stone pillars carved with animals and symbols built 7,000 years before the pyramids. Built before pottery, before writing, before farming, before cities. According to everything we thought we knew, this site should be impossible. Hunter-gatherers weren't supposed to create megalithic temples. They weren't supposed to plan architecture. They weren't supposed to organize large workforces. And yet, they did. Göbekli Tepe forced archaeologists to admit that humans were building monumental structures long before civilization supposedly began. And Göbekli Tepe isn't alone. Sites like Jericho, one of the world's oldest cities, Çatalhöyük, a complex settlement older than many written cultures, stone circle ruins in Nabta Playa, Egypt, early megalithic structures in Peru and Bolivia. All appear much earlier than mainstream timelines expected. It's as if the blueprint for civilization existed before we believed it did. Around 12,900 years ago, something massive happened. Scientists call it the Younger Dryas, a sudden global freeze followed by rapid warming. In a geological blink, the world went from cold to burning hot to cold again. Coastlines shifted, floods ripped across continents, glaciers melted with terrifying speed. Entire ecosystems and species vanished. Many researchers now believe this period didn't just change the environment, it erased entire cultures. Some scientists point to evidence of a cosmic impact, possibly fragments of a comet, triggering wildfires, climate collapse, and ocean megafloods. Indigenous stories from over 40 cultures speak of a great flood. The Sumerians, the Egyptians, the Greeks, the Maya, the Hopi, the Aboriginal Australians, even Himalayan cultures. Different languages, different continents, same story, a world destroyed, a civilization washed away, myth or memory? If humanity was more advanced before the cataclysm, we should find evidence. And we do. Scattered across the planet are ancient structures that challenge everything we think we know. Baalbek, Lebanon. Home to the Stone of the South, a single block weighing over 1,000 tons. How was it moved? By whom and why? No clear answer. Puma Punku, Bolivia. Stone blocks carved with laser-like precision. Perfect 90-degree cuts. Interlocking shapes. Made of diorite, a stone harder than steel tools of the time. Did Stone Age cultures do this, or something missing from our timeline? The Yonaguni Monument, Japan. A massive underwater structure with terraces, steps, and flat plains. Natural formation? Or something built before rising sea levels swallowed it? Dwarka, India. An underwater city described in ancient texts. Discovered exactly where the story said it would be. Structures, streets, and artifacts lie beneath the sea, dating back to around the same time as the Younger Dryas floods. The Bimini Road, Caribbean. A formation that looks like a paved underwater pathway. Coincidence? Or the edges of a drowned civilization? These sites don't prove a supercivilization existed, but they suggest something far older and more complex was happening long before the first kingdoms of Egypt or Sumer. If a civilization existed before the floods, they wouldn't necessarily leave behind skyscrapers or machines. Stone survives. Metal decays. Stories remain. And some of those stories hide astonishing knowledge. Ancient cultures possessed astronomical mastery. They track celestial cycles with the precision modern tools confirm. Solstices, equinoxes, star alignments, precession of the Earth, planetary patterns. How did early cultures know so much? Engineering ability. The pyramids are aligned with the cardinal directions more accurately than many modern buildings. Stone structures show seismic protection, interlocking joints, and advanced geometry. Who taught them this? Mathematical systems. Ancient sites and code? Pi, phi, complex ratios, sacred geometry. Did they discover this independently or inherit this knowledge? Global cultural similarities. Pyramids, solar symbols, flood myths, serpent myths, sky gods. Civilizers who came from the sea after a catastrophe. Different continents, same patterns. Coincidence or cultural memory from something older. So what might this lost supercivilization have looked like? Not flying cars, not metal skyscrapers, not science fiction cities, but a culture with advanced astronomy, sophisticated engineering, mapping and measurement systems, deep understanding of nature, organized construction projects, shared knowledge across continents. A culture far ahead of its time, but not industrial. And then, around 12,000 years ago, it ended. Not slowly, not peacefully, but suddenly. Floods, ice melt, firestorms, earthquakes, rising seas swallowing coastlines. If a civilization lived near the oceans, as most advanced cultures do, its cities would be underwater today, which is exactly where we are finding many ruins. Does a lost supercivilization absolutely exist? We cannot say with full certainty. Some scientists embrace the idea. Others reject it fiercely. Many stand cautiously in the middle. But here's what we do know. Göbekli Tepe exists. Puma Punku exists. Baalbek exists. Yonaguni exists. Dwarka exists. Flood myths exist. Global geological evidence exists. Cataclysmic climate events happened, and they all point to one thing. Human history is older, more complex, and more mysterious than we were taught. We may not have the full story, but the clues suggest this. Humanity may have risen once before and fell, only to rise again. If a civilization existed 12,000 years ago, then we are not the first advanced culture. We are simply the first one to remember, and maybe not the last one to be forgotten. Civilizations rise, civilizations fall, but the Earth keeps its memories buried, waiting for us to uncover them. Whether the lost supercivilization was real or not, one thing is certain. We are only scratching the surface of our past, and the story of humanity, the full story, has not yet been told.